what I've decided to show you now, I've taken a little break from my Les Paul Junior build. One of the questions when I do Les Paul Junior or Paul Reed Smith type construction is whether I put the angle on the neck or the body. They're a different joint to traditional Les Paul. They just sit in there flat really. So what I always do, I always put the angle on the neck. So my jig that I use, I've had it for about 20 years. 2004 I think I made it, maybe in 2003. So what I've decided now, I'm going to make another one and I'll share it with you. And this is why this is off the guitar build now, and it's going to be a separate video for you. So what we got a piece of MDF. Now this is a little bit thinner than what I would normally use, but it's what I've got here, and this is about 15 mil. So what I'm going to do now is strike a centre line. The rough dimensions are 200. I'll do it with this now so I can give the imperial and metric up. So this is 8 inches, about 200 mil. So I'm going to strike a line now up through the centre. So that's going to be the base of it. Now we need to put 2 blocks either side, like this. I'm going to put a couple of screws in the bottom and glue them on. I just flipped them over now. And they're 38 mil, so I'm going to come in 20 mil. I've only got to be rough. There's nothing accurate about this bit. So that's the first 2 pieces of wood. Now we're going to put another 2 on there, slightly overhanging like that. What I find with these, I sometimes need a little bit more height, depending on the height of the neck. Sometimes that works, sometimes I need to put a bit more on. So all I'm going to do is put some screws in there that I can remove it. It's not going to be glued on. So all we've got to do now is fit this. This is what the neck is going to sit on, and you can adjust it like that and hinge it to give you an angle. Now what I need to do, that's my straight edge off the, so this is measuring up at about 120 mil. What's that in inches for the Americans? 4 3/4. Strike my centre line. So get a lap hinge now, and I'll bolt it onto the side. I'll get back to you now in a minute because I haven't got it yet. I've got a 4-inch inch. I've marked the centre 50mm in. So what we need to do, we need to fit that so the back end of the edge is in line with the front of these blocks. Now I'm just going to draw a couple of walls. The middle two would be enough for now. And then a piece of the weeder lever, we need, that's going to be down like that, that's going to be on there. So we line this up with our centre mark. I've continued the centre line that's on the back burr all the way around now. To line this hinge up with the ones that we've marked at the back. So I put a couple of screws in there now, and I'm just checking that the top part lines up with the centre line of the base. So I know when I lift this up to get set the angle, it's square. So I'll just put the last screw in. Let's double check it. They line up well. So these can go back on. Now these got a dual function, these have really. This gives me a little bit more height. Like as this stands now, this is too thick to go in this jig. So all this is doing is just raising it up a little bit for me. Now when I take them off, I can use this same jig then to do the backs of the headstocks or the front of the headstocks if you're doing a Fender guitar. So you can use it for two purposes. Okay, right. Now the next thing we need to do is this jig as it is great for a fingerboard that you haven't radius, so it sits flat on the adjusting part. Now, because I've put binding on this and I've had to radius it, it'll wobble a little bit, it'll roll. Well, because it rolls, there's a possibility that you may not get this to sit square. So what we need to do now is, which I'm going to just move a few things around. Give me some room. So this is the neck angle, right? Doesn't matter. So I've just dropped this on here. I've striked a couple of lines. I'm just going to carry them on a little bit, and I'm going to put some cork on you, so the neck then will sit flatter with two pieces of cork between it. So let me just swing that around, bring this over. I've already started cutting a few pieces. It's 10mm strips. Over there. So the next thing now we need to do is to glue these on. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm not going to put them on the lines that I just strike, because it'll be, and kind of come inside. I'll follow them all the way up. So when you're putting the contact adhesive on, you want to put it on, and then you will give it 5-10 minutes. You need it to start going off. You don't want to do it when it's wet, because it doesn't do what it says on the tin, doesn't contact. But if you leave it dry a little bit, as soon as it comes in contact with the other surface, it'll grab straight away. So I'm just going to give this a few minutes, and then we're going to do a little modification to this, which I haven't done on any of the others. I'm going to put a little reset position, if I can. I only thought about it the other day. And also I'm going to chop this off. I think this is a little bit too long. I'm going to probably cut it with this somewhere. I'll just do that by hand. I won't even take it off, I'll just put the saw through it. So, put the last one of these on now. Now when you put that on there, it doesn't rock. So it's sitting square. Right, happy days. So what I've just done then, I just took the back end off. I felt it was a little bit too long and don't need it, so I've got rid of that. Now, what we need to do to measure this angle, we do it with a protractor. That there is at 0. So if we're going to put a 2.5 degree angle on it, we want it to move that much. What we want to do, we want to get this to reset. It's always at 0. So what we're going to do is put a little pack in for there. So get a bit of cork. I'm going to stick 2 pieces of cork there, and that gives us our reset to the 0 line. I've put this little stop here, so this table is sitting parallel and it's sitting at the right height for, if I can find it, right. When you've got a protractor, right, there is a 0 line, so the actual degrees start a little bit off the border. So normally I put this on here, hold it lower down and set it whatever angle I want. Now to set the angle, you just got to slide a piece of wood in. I've got a piece of MDF, and I can move that along, and that's reading 2.5 degrees if that's what you want. If we want more, you can turn it that way. Oh, well, whatever way you want. Put just different piece of wood in. But I'm just going to use that for the moment. Now, that's okay, but I've got this small protractor by here, and the 0 line is about it's about 5 mil off the bottom. So what I've done, I've put a bit of cork here. I've lifted this up the table, marked the 90 degree position by there. Now I've got this protractor, I've marked it, I can see where the 90 degree is, and that piece of cork that's on there is about the height that I want. So I've put a little bit of double-sided tape on there now to hold it there. I'm just checking it. But I'm just going to put a screw in. Take the cork out now, it's my spacer. I'll swing this around for you here. I'll put the neck on. I can put my block in, slide it along and set it to whatever angle I want. So that's reading, I know it's difficult for you to see, that's reading 5 degrees. So obviously if you want to put more of an angle on, you can use a bigger block and you just have to slide it to wherever you want it. That's reading 7 degrees. Something like that's on the Les Paul. Chop the route on it and route him off. Now I'm not going to demonstrate using it. You'll see it when I go back to my build, to my Les Paul Junior. But you get the idea that it's totally adjustable, and it's nice to put the protractor there, to be honest. It works well. This is my original neck angle jig. This was made 20 years ago. Slightly bigger, butcher, and that's the only better thing about this. This has got a 20mm MDF and this is 15, but I couldn't get a 20mm MDF at the time. But it doesn't matter. This does the job. It's better in some respects that this got a index in position where this one haven't. So this always sits at 0, and of course I got the protractor on there, which are turning out really well. This is going to be used now on my Les Paul Junior for the shift 2023. So next time you see this now, it'll be in operation. So this probably costs about £7. Right, so it's bye for me for now. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I don't know if there's any more videos on YouTube about making a neck angle jig. I'd be surprised if Fletcher Guitars in Australia haven't done one, because as I said before, you can watch all these videos on YouTube about making guitars, and he is the man. If you've never seen him, it's a shame that he's not doing any videos now, because he's concentrating more on teaching, I believe, which is a bit like me, but I teach music. But the boy is a genius. He is fantastic, and he's so particular on what he does and the quality of his work is second to none. Anyway, that's my little cheer on for him, because he's a nice bloke. Anyway, so it's bye for now. From a wet and it's blinking freezing cold South Wales, I'll catch you again.